Okay, this is DragonofEternity and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. In the last video, or last two videos, I made my way to Charlayan, Old Charlayan even, and I got a tour of the city. And in this episode, I need to choose between either finding out what's going on at the forum, or finding an alchemist in Favnair. So, let's go Kryl first. Hitting the books. Kryl is intent on uncovering the reason behind the forum's inexplicable behaviour. An unsettling change has come over Charlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavour. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. This is why I began scouring Charlayan archive of historical records for any hint of an indication or a connection to the final days. Suffice to say that progress has been slow. There have been so many dusty pages one can skim. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now I have this band of willing reinforcements. The search should proceed all the swifter. Let's reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the attics to the right, and you will find archives on the western edge of the woods. Alright. I guess I'll talk to you guys after I've done this. Let's finish one quest chain. Oh, this place is going to be crowded. It's going to be so crowded. God, it's taking a while to load. Day 1 expansion release. Shit's gonna be crowded. And... oh, come on, game. I know there's a lot of people here and you've now stopped, but still, come on. God. What are side quests? The hunt for specimens. I believe that is the hunt log. Anything else that's appeared? Daldash, literary delivery, scholarly perspective. Alright, those sound like side quests. Well, there's gonna be something there. What's up, Carl? Any of the other scions here? How bad looks of it. Right, if there's any conversations that I've missed, I do apologise. It's just day 1 and things loading in. My directions were easier to follow, I hope. And in any case, you now stand before the doors of Numenon, Charlayan's greatest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many of that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Guba Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Charlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Rohar to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alizé and Alphino will help me continue my search for the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you're only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Charlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of the subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let's be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there. Once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Oh dear lord, it extends far. Can I even see the bottom? I don't know. And it's frozen again. I didn't restart the game because I'll be in a bloody 3k queue. Aye, aye, aye. Alright, so let's go to where these guys are. Time Worn Tome. Faded title on the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. Read the book. During the chaos of the Sixth Annual Calamity, Archon Yunkrep, founder of Charlene, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war, and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Charlanes took to heart the words of their saviour, and henceforth served as stewards of wisdom. And game crash. Ay, ay, ay. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from the strength of minds rather than the strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin. And the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Charlene would live by their founder's teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would issue the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. Well, okay then. There's a book there, and there's a book here. Well-worn manual. Forever 20 summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? Yes, I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, or 23, or 40. One knows is Ishtola's age. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research another day, another moon, another summer, to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from biological, ethological, and arcane viewpoint. This book is on the rub subject. Search the works which contain details on the forum, or mention the history of Charlene. Well, it was a fun book to read, at least. Blue-covered book, an introduction to the heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? All the time. I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. Well, you see, that's gravity. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of the ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift, almost imperceptibly, but measurably, as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Wow, you're just talking about, like, the universe and time-space. Let's see, what about you? if I can click it. The voice of a growing city. In the years which followed the founding of Charlian, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the Sixth Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Charlian would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the forum we know today conceived and created. Alright. What about another one? Any around here? Yes. Oh, 2 books. One of these is wrong. Would you like to load? Roads of Old, the Old Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Valiak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the Sixth Astral Era. The scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumours spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Charlians. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognise what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlian colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charlian, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Charlian inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Revolving the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. The book does not appear to contain additional information on the forum or cover the history of Charlian Motherland in great detail. Alright. Are you going to be right then? The story of Charlian. That sounds right. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadin man by the name of Nunkrep. Nunkrep was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to the horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nunkrep's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. For only moments to spare, Nunkrep wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Alabathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them. But it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violent bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nunkrep gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of a new island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Charlian we live in to this day. You've gained a fundamental understanding of Charlian history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and await your companions. Will do, will do. Do you really need like a magical floor here? So now it's time for cutscene. I imagine. Oh, this is gonna be a clusterfuck, isn't it? Uh-huh. Quick, find Kryl! Destination. Oh. There we go. So, waiting and then cutscene. Right. Sorry, were you waiting long? No, not at all. I wanted to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Cryo should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the finals day specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, my plan is to skim through it as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would be nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Charlene, we were not to be allowed access across the threshold. Yeah, I've got to kick the dick in. I've got a what? I've got that man's kick. I've got that man's dick to kick in. There we go. Harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Do they even exist? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Charlene, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Favnir. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as labourers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes who were still living in Corvus braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Algan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvus under Gorlian rule? Yeah. For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Gorlemold renamed the region Locus Amoenus. Among Us. No. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Algan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favour of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Alcan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once did. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alag. As the last born child of the Algan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends in the Student of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Charlean citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louisois, was he not? Stories of adopted waves and rescued orphans are more common among Charleans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Here. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books. More company should be arriving any moment now. So what does the twins' mother think of this? I imagine it can't be good. Who knows? Who knows? Wait at the designated location again. Okay. If I can find it. There it is. Oh wait, I could probably talk to... Again, this place is too large. This place has too many people in it. They won't load. What the fuck? Excuse me? Oh no. This isn't going to be a Rob on Savage, is it? Try again. Just try again. Whenever this bloody thing wants to appear. And now the game's froze. Oh, yay. Day one is really kicking his server's ass, isn't it? I can see Yoshi apologizing for this. Ay. What the balls is happening? Apart from the obvious. I knew this was going to happen. I would have went to bloody Favnir. Alright, click again. And hope for the best. Come on. There we go. Only took... Excuse me! Don't give me the black screen and then do that. Ay. Come on, game. Alright, one more. And then I think about changing instances. Stop freezing! This is frustrating on so many levels. Okay. That. Please tell me this area is instanced. Please. I have a plan of what to do. I don't understand why it won't work. Instant area. Well, I'm fucked either way in terms of instance area. Oh dear lord. You might want to open the third one square. Let's go to number 2. And let's try it again. I just want to get through a good RPG story. Ay. Come on, game. I guess I should be happy that I haven't been kicked out yet. Yeah. Still, this is really annoying. I can see Yoshi apologizing for this. Well, they wanted to get more servers, but they couldn't. Okay, just walk there. Just walk there. That's all I can do. Ay. Is there a way up? Yes, there is. At least I hope I can take it. A little bit upwards. There we go. I see the same person. Shit. Not much I can do except try. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. And click. and pray. Right, you're loading. There we go. Please don't kick me out this cutscene. Sheesh. We've returned to our selections. Though I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Cryle has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we'll be looking into research papers on the Umber calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days come from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I am the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Complete destabilization of creative magics, primals of from the ether, the worst kind of destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion, meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishtola's surmise that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? They said it began with a keening sound from the land itself. The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. Actually, no, it kind of spread. So a keening from the land. Ah yes, the routine spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amaron was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say, to be considered the harbinger of doom. It must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Nominoms and Mammoths and ask for any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definite action did they take? They knocked Elwood from the sky. Wrong one. They summoned Zodiark. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star. Only by his godlike will were the laws of nature set right. Then, once the heat balance was redressed, the ancients offered a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Fanon and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Eidolon. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. Maybe something's crying out, it got silenced, and he's trying to wake it up? Just a thought. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. It's forcing people to summon primals, a kind of catalyst. Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Are they simply using the final day as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let's return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Let me guess, wait here again? Motherfucker! Ay, ay, ay. This is literally going to be an episode, a video. Well, that doesn't make any sense. A quest, a video at this point. Which is fine by me, just... It might take a bit to finish all this playthrough. Right, wait for the thing to appear. Wait for the lag spike to disappear. Wait for the sound to come back on. And off we go. Ay, ay, ay. Slowly but surely, I will make progress on this MSQ. Hi, Y'shtola. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned the sources of reflections from the Gerun oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gooba Library. It is even less likely that the knowledge of the Unsundered World, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason then that my colleagues, be they Archons or Councillors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Forchenault with knowledge of the Telothroi and the machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behaviour, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Ooh. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. How are you going to read them if you're blind? Just a thought. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Woo. Unless that book's in Braille. Would you have learned Braille? Is Braille a thing in this game world? You labour for what feels like an age on as Y'shtola's research assistant. That sounds like a good time. Speak of Kryl. Sup, Graha? Thoughts? The efforts to gain Graha to his attention to her nose, he appears to be lost in his reading. Alright, Alfie. I found not of interest so far. I think Y'shtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. I feel like I'm missing someone here. Come on, game. God, it's doing this literally every minute. Every minute in highly populated areas, that is. Right, look away from the people. Let me look away from the people. Oh dear Lord. Can I just get away from here? If you would like to take my inputs, thank you. Sheesh! Oh, come on. I was away from people. Why is it still... The temptation to just restart this bloody game is high. It's really high right now. It's like any time I click it stops. Come on, game. Let me finish the quest at least. It's the turn-in. Then I can finish the video. Come on. Please. Oh, I shouldn't have left that place. Right, slowly but surely. Through every lag spike. Through every freeze. I will get closer to clicking Kryl. Don't give me that bloody offline symbol. I'm online. Click Kryl now. Click Kryl now. Click Kryl now. Click. Click! Click like life depends on you! Cryo! Cryo! Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? What a first day of an expansion. What a first day! Oh my fucking god. Come on! Load! Please, game! I beg of thee! I beg of thee! Oh, now he shows loads. Come on. Well, then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Alright. Oh my god, there's enough quest there from Alice. Why? Hello. A seat at the last stand. I will accept that quest later. Let me get away from everyone. What a terrifying gazebo. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, I'm going to end this video here before I go insane. So, this has been DragonofEternity going through more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker MSQ. In this video, I read some books and went through lag hell. Next time I will be going for the quest at the seat at the last stand. So yeah, with that plan now, viewers, with my rambling hopefully now finally done. Until next time.